Greetings from the Wasteland and welcome to our weekly check of the highlights of new releases headed to an independent record store near you. This batch is for the coming Friday of July 29th. And again, this is just the highlights because there's way too many releases to get into everything. So if we missed something, please let us know in the comments below. Now, as always, please try to get your pre-orders into us if you're local, and we will do our best to get them. But realize that things like the supply chain issues and shipping delays and production delays from a lot of the labels mean that some of these may not make it in time. It's not an absolute guarantee, but we will do our best to get them. So let's dive into the new releases for Friday, July 29th. And starting us off, we have something new-ish from Eric Clapton. Now I say new-ish because Nothing But the Blues is technically a new release, but it is a soundtrack from a 1995 film called Nothing But the Blues. The film featured live performances of blues standards covered by Clapton, as well as historical video footage of blues musicians from various generations, folks like Howlin' Wolf, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, T-Bone Walker, Freddie King, etc. So some cool stuff. The film, by the way, was co-produced by none other than Martin Scorsese. Now, the movie was released in June of 1995 via the public broadcasting, PBS broadcasting system around the country. The film was not, however, released on home video until this year in June of 2022 for reasons that we're being told are unclear. Originally, the plan was by Martin Scorsese to release the movie in the summer of '95, but again, it was never released on VHS or DVD for whatever reason. So earlier this year, Reprise Records announced that the film had been remastered in 4K and would be released for the first time on Blu-ray and DVD. And this is the soundtrack from that release. So again, Eric Clapton, Nothing But the Blues is a double LP on black vinyl, and it features previously unreleased live performances recorded in 1994 during that guitarist's tour supporting the album The Cradle. The album has been remixed from the audio of those performances from the original multi-track recordings. So Eric Clapton's Nothing But the Blues double LP on black vinyl will list for about $35. Now, if you want to take this a little bit deeper, there is a super deluxe version of this album that came out back in June. And that edition comes with the vinyl, as well as the documentary itself on Blu-ray, and the soundtrack on vinyl, as we mentioned, plus on compact disc, and a bonus compact disc with 4 extra tracks on there as well. That package also includes a numbered lithograph, a 12 by 24 poster, a Clapton guitar string set, and custom guitar picks, as well as an exclusive bandana. Now that super deluxe version is showing as still available from our distributors, and that lists for a very healthy $230. But the album, as we mentioned, coming out on Friday the 29th, double LP will list for $35. New stuff also coming from Eddie Vedder. This is called Earthling. It is the third studio album from Eddie Vedder and features the singles Long Way, The Haves, and Brother the Cloud. In addition, the album features collaborations with several music legends, including Stevie Wonder, Ringo Starr, Elton John, Chad Smith, Andrew Watt, and many others. There are 2 versions of Earthling being made available on the 29th. The standard black vinyl version, as well as an indie exclusive on clear vinyl, but some blue and black in that clear as well. The indie exclusive lists a little heavy, coming in at about $45, while the single LP black vinyl version lists for around $40. Something from a group that is brand new to me. I've not heard of these guys, but we had a customer come in and ask if we could get one of them, so I thought, well, let's look it up. This is a group called Whiskey Myers, and their upcoming album is called Tornillo. And if you're like me, you're unfamiliar with who Whiskey Myers actually is. They are an American southern rock / red dirt / country group hailing from Palestine, Texas. According to their bio on Discogs, they are inspired by the music of Leonard Skinner, Hank Williams Jr., and Waylon Jennings, as well as many other southern rock and country artists. So Whiskey Myers Tornillo coming out on both black standard vinyl for a list price of around $30 and an indie exclusive copper colored vinyl also listing for about $30. Multiple releases headed our way for the 29th on the reissue front, including a trio from Moby. Now, this is just the first of several Moby reissues that are going to be coming out between now and September, but to start us off, we've got 3 of them. including the self-titled Moby on colored vinyl. This is a limited black, white, and blue marbled pressing of his debut studio album, released originally in 1992. Additionally, we can also look forward to an album called Early Underground, a double LP pressing. This is a compilation album by Moby, originally released in 1993, consisting of tracks previously released by Moby under other pseudonyms, including Barracuda, Brainstorm, UHF, and Voodoo Child. Early Underground looks like it's going to list for about $33. By the way, I forgot to mention that Moby's self-titled reissue will list for around $28. Finally, rounding out this trio is Ambient, also on colored vinyl. Clear vinyl LP pressing. Ambient is the second studio album by Moby, originally released in August of 1993. List price on that one will be for $28. Beam me up, Scotty. This planet... No, never mind. Double LP pressing from Nicki Minaj. Our description says this is the third mixtape by rapper Nicki Minaj, originally released in 2009. It features guest verses from rappers including Bobby V, Brinks, Busta Rhymes, Drake, Lil Wayne, Ron Browns, and many others. Looks like this is a standard black vinyl pressing, double LP, and will list for about $40. Here is an interesting one from a collaboration that is equally interesting. Blacklight Syndrome is the name of the album, and it's by Bozzio, Levin, and Stevens. They joined forces for this mythic 1997 studio album. This album has been heralded as one of the most unique and mesmerizing recordings of its time, with each track being wholly improvised and performed. Again, let me say that just to make clear, with each track being wholly improvised and performed by this immensely talented trio, ranging in styles from rock to fusion to prog metal to flamenco. It's something you probably have not really heard before. Now, exactly what is this super group of Bozzio, Levin, and Stevens? It is exactly what it sounds like. According to Wikipedia, they are a super group power trio of rock, fusion, and jazz, featuring the talents of Terry Bozzio, who played, of course, with Frank Zappa and biggest on Missing Persons, as well as Tony Levin, who played with Peter Gabriel and King Crimson, and guitarist Steve Stevens, who you may know from playing with Billy Idol and Vince Neil, as well as Michael Jackson. So quite the combination of Bozzio, Levin, and Stevens. This on clear vinyl coming from Cleopatra Records. Double LP will list for about $37. Got a big one coming from the Grateful Dead. This is a reissue of Europe 1972, a 50th anniversary edition of that live album. This is the album that celebrated the Grateful Dead's iconic European tour from 1972. 50 years later, this is considered one of the highest of the high points, pun intended, of the Grateful Dead's performing career. So this triple LP reissue of Europe 72 by the Grateful Dead will list at $70. Here is a fun one coming from Jethro Tull. It is a 50th anniversary reissue of Thick as a Brick. This is coming from a half-speed master, and it is one of the Steven Wilson remixes. This is from a 2012 remix, and what makes this even cooler is that the 50th anniversary reissue is holding true to the original's packaging, and that includes the gatefold edition with the iconic newspaper inside from Jethro Tull. So this is quite the find. If you ever try to find this originally, finding the newspaper intact, unripped, and so on and so forth is very, very rare on the vintage vinyl side. So Jethro Tull's Thick as a Brick 50th Anniversary Edition remixed by Steven Wilson will list for $25. We also have a reissue coming from the Moody Blues, A Question of Balance 180-gram audiophile vinyl, limited edition, and this one originally released in 1970. The reissue will list at around $38. Also another one that shows up a lot in the vintage vinyl side, but never really in great condition. This is Gordon Lightfoot's Summertime Dream. Coming from Friday Music, this one will be on clear vinyl, clear blue vinyl, and it will be a limited edition. Now, Summertime Dream, if you're unfamiliar with Lightfoot's work, is probably one of the only places that you'll find the iconic hit, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That did not show up on his greatest hits compilations, Gord's Gold, or anything like that. And so for the longest time, the originals of Summertime Dream were about the only place that you could find that song in its entirety. So now this reissue is again coming on clear blue vinyl from Friday Music, and Gordon Lightfoot's Summertime Dream will list for $37. Very unique one from Link Wray on the reissue slate. This is a reissue of Link Wray's self-titled 1971 solo album. So this reissue of Link Wray's self-titled, coming from Light in the Attic Records, will list for about $36. Not sure if you need this one in your collection, but if you do, then you know you do. This is Nancy and Lee, Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood, a reissue of their iconic pairing from 1968. So this is also a Light in the Attic reissue, and it looks like it's coming on orange and red vinyl. This is the definitive edition of Nancy and Lee and features remastered audio and includes an array of exclusive content, and it says including a new interview with Nancy, never before seen photos, and 2 bonus tracks from the album's sessions, which include, and this is our description calling this, an ethereal cover of the Kinks' Tired of Waiting for You, and an up-tempo version of Love is Strange, made famous by Mickey and Sylvia from 1956. So this release marks the official debut on vinyl for both of those tracks, and the Light in the Attic reissue of Nancy and Lee will list for about $36. On the compilation / box set / greatest hits front, we've got a few offerings for the week of the 29th. Starting off with Belinda Carlisle, this one is called Collection. It is a double LP coming from Demon Records. Our description says, this is a comprehensive overview of Belinda's amazing solo career throughout the 80s and 90s. The collection boasts a remarkable 15 UK top 40 singles, including the worldwide #1 hit, Heaven is a Place on Earth, as well as Circle in the Sand, Leave a Light On, Summer Rain, and many others. Belinda Carlisle's Collection is a double 140-gram black vinyl pressing, and it will list for about $45. A big box set from the prog metal-ish Voivod. This is called Forgotten in Space. The box set includes 5 of Voivod's albums, including Roar, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, Killing Technology, Dimension Hatros, The Demos, and No Speed Limit Weekend 86. I believe this also comes with a DVD as well, with a mini documentary plus previously unseen concert footage from 1987. Our description says this box set also includes a USB drive in the form of a figurine containing MP3 audio files of all the albums. So Voivod's Forgotten in Space, the vinyl box set, is a 6 LP set on splatter vinyl plus a DVD plus a 40-page book and a USB drive, and will list for about $200. We've got an Offspring's Greatest Hits on the slate as well. This is a Greatest Hits compilation from the Offspring, made available for the first time on vinyl. Originally released in 2005, it includes the hits Come Out and Play, Gone Away, and Pretty Fly for a gym guy, and Original Prankster on there as well. So the Offspring's Greatest Hits will list for about $28. And wrapping things up, we've got a reissue of the Greatest Hits anthology from the Babies. This is coming on clear vinyl. Originally released in 1981, Anthology is a collection of the Babies' greatest hits, covering the time period from 1976 through 1980. So all of their great stuff is on there. Again, this is coming on clear vinyl, and the Babies anthology will list for about $30. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you about one on the horizon release, something for us to keep an eye out for. This coming for the week of August 5th, and this is Tool's Fear Inoculum. Yes, I know, this was just released on a super huge box set not too long ago. Well, this is the pared down version of Fear Inoculum. So Tool is now making this available as a 3 LP set. All are going to be on 180 gram, and they feature, of course, new artwork on a triple gatefold jacket with an exclusive poster. Looks like this is going to list for about $66 or so, so be on the lookout for that. Tool's Fear Inoculum looks to be slated for an August 5th release. Okay, so that covers all of the releases, well, that one upcoming for August, but covers all of the releases for Friday, July 29th. As always, if you see something that you'd like, please let us know here at the store. Our orders go in on Sunday evening. That's your best chance to get a hold of something. Just because we include them in this video does not necessarily mean that everything will be made available, as we mentioned before. But again, your best chance to get something is to let us or your local record store know. So until next time, we'll talk to you later from the Wasteland.